Yeah, okay, bro.
Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Africa. This is Lucy Ora on Daybreak Africa, reaching you live from Television Nigeria, Guzope Hills, Abuja. The television that gives you all the trending news on politics, entertainment, and lots more. With me this morning is
Sandra Guana. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, Africa.
Thank you for being with me this morning.
Thank
you
you
actually
very
look
much.
very beautiful.
You look very good too. I want to be like you when I grow up.
Of course. Yeah, this morning, Sandra, did you see what's going on the news?
The first thing I saw this morning was the Zainab thing.
Yeah.
That Zainab was released from in Saudi custody.
Yeah.
You know, there was this allegation against her that she carried, is it tramadol or something?
Tramadol.
You know, at the end of the day, when I look at the story, I really felt that, did someone drop it in her bag? Did she use it herself? The thing is contradicting, but we are very happy with the fact that she was able, they released her.
And you know, this sends a message to people out there. When you're traveling, you actually, because at the airport, they actually sell keys that you can actually buy
You
and
have
get
to
your
lock
bags
your bag.
locked up. Because, you know, these things, you don't know who goes into your bag. You don't know who accesses your bag.
Because you are not
there. Yeah. And there also the security issues I keep hearing about. The president's in-law being kidnapped in Daura.
That is the top issue again. That is going. Everybody is wondering that if the hijackers or kidnappers can go to Daura, all the way to Daura, to go and kidnap the president, someone that is related to the president, then one day they will tell us that they went and kidnapped the president himself in Daura.
I hope that doesn't happen, because it seems like there's serious security issues going on. Even the IGP has, you know, redeployed the Commissioner of Police in Kaduna. But I feel at the end of the day, we're all trying to make Nigeria safe for everyone.
Yeah,
so thank you for joining us. Sit back, grab a cup of tea, cup of coffee, or anything you want. We'll be right back with the AM News shortly.
The question of leadership is a factor in this regard to the success of the fight against the Boko Haram terrorists. And then you look at also the factor of morale. Leadership is a factor in this regard to the success of the fight against the Boko Haram terrorists. And then you look at also the factor of morale.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. This is the AM News. I am Priscilla Iworm. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the redeployment of 71 staff of the State House Aso Villa, Abuja ahead of his inauguration for a second term in office. A circular from the Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation revealed that a total of 71 staff on salary grade level 7 to 14, both security and civil servants, were affected. The circular signed by the Director Employee Mobility MS Naibi in the Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation said all handing and taking over processes should be completed on or before Friday, May 3rd, while the affected staff are to comply or face sanctions. The affected staff have been redeployed to the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation, and some designated ministries. The Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, has ordered the immediate redeployment of 6 Commissioner of Police over insecurity with a charge to redominate and reclaim public space from criminals. The action, according to Force Republic Relations Officer Frank Mba, was part of efforts aimed at rejigging the fight against armed banditry, kidnapping and other crimes across the nation, particularly in Kaduna and other contiguous states. The Commissioner of Police in Kaduna, Ahmed Abdulrahman, was redeployed to the Force Intelligence Bureau Force Headquarters Abuja, while CP Aji Ali Janga, who while now was the Commissioner of Police in charge of Bauchi State, was moved over to Kaduna Command. The acting chairman of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Ibrahim Magu, on Wednesday indicted state governors over the festering insecurity in parts of the country. Magu, who spoke at the induction of new and returning state governors in Abuja, said some of the governors promote insecurity in their states in order to inflate the monthly security votes, while calling on state governors to be conscious of transparency in the expenditure of public funds. Magu further attributed the lingering insurgency in the northeast to mass poverty in the region, due in part of corruption by the ruling elite, which accounts for the ease with which the insurgents are able to recruit fighters to sustain their aggression against Nigerian state. Alhaji Musa Umar, the district head of Daura in Katsina State, has been kidnapped by gunmen on Wednesday evening after observing Maghrib prayers. The retired customs controller and traditional ruler is the father of Fatima Musa, the wife of Colonel Muhammad Abubakar, the aide-de-camp to President Muhammadu Buhari. The kidnappers reportedly arrived at the Daura residence at 7 p.m. and abducted the district head after sporadic shootings which had people scampering for safety. And that was the AM News. Thanks for watching. I am Priscilla Iworm. The Daybreak show continues shortly after this break.
Say something. AM News on Daybreak Africa. Sandra, did you see what she talked about this morning? It seems like the president is he's already ready to take over, to go on the second term this time. Yeah.
Of course, I can see that he's obviously ready because, one, they said he has replaced some of his staff. He has done so many things. He's trying to put everything in order so that he will he will get himself ready for his second tenure.
Yes, I can see that. Yeah,
that is a very welcome development.
And I can also see that the IG of police is also trying. You know, he's doing redeployment for the security of the country and all that. So it seems, you know, the government is ready to protect Nigerians.
Certainly.
Let's go to the next program we have for you on Daybreak Africa right now. We'll be talking about the weather and things that happen around us. Let's look up and see what we have for today.
You're welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Daybreak Africa on television Nigeria. And as you can see from the report, the weather is becoming friendly. You know, what do you think? Because yesterday it drained.
It's actually becoming really, really friendly because it's been very, very sunny in Abuja.
In as much as the electricity thing, we are not so sure about it, but at least the weather is encouraging us to live in Nigeria. Thank you very much. So what we'll do now, we are going to another interesting segment that I like very well. This is the newspaper segment where we look at stories making headlines on our national dailies. Victor is on the newspaper stand to tell us what is happening there. Victor, over to you.
Hello, good morning, viewers. You're welcome to the newspaper review segment of the Daybreak Africa show. And you know how we always do it every morning, newspaper review from the street. And today again, once again, we are Wuse Zone 5, Sky Memorial, and we'll be looking at the dailies for today. So much going on within the last 24 hours that the newspapers have had to cover. And we'll be going through the newspapers headlines one after the other. So let's start with New Telegraph. The New Telegraph's front headline says, governors to workers, we will pay 30,000 naira minimum wage. And okay, on top of it, FAAN withdraws services to KB and Gombe airports over 732.4 million naira debt. And at the bottom of it, gunmen kidnap Buhari's district head. Wow, that's quite unfortunate. Then let's go on to Daily Independence. Daily Independence, top of the headlines they have 30,000 naira minimum wage, best May Day gift, says Labour. We didn't retrench workers during recession, says the federal government. And then you have Nigeria bigger than you. APC replies Adebanjo. He derailed politically by joining forces with Jonathan Sage. At the bottom here, we have Shell. Dutch court rules in favor of wives of slain Ogoni leaders. And the side bit at the top, we will have family threatens demolition of property in Ikeja, Magodo, Agidingbi. Bandits, kids. Okay, if you want to really know what that's about, then you can get Daily Independent. Go to page 11, the full story is there. Bandits, kids 10 in Kasina community. IGP redeploys Kaduna CP. This could be from the meeting he had with the governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai. Buhari to meet Goje in Dume over Senate presidency tussle. And that is all for Daily Independence. We'll have to look at the next newspaper. But before then, let's get one comment from...
That is very funny. Something like that happening in the district area of the president, chief commander of the nation. It's very, very funny. You know, that means to tell you that the security, there are a lot of lapses there. A lot of lapses.
Everything in the country is not just moving well. I don't have anything to say. Everybody see the blind are seeing. Everybody is seeing that the whole thing is not moving well. That is okay.
All right, then let's go to the blueprints. We won't allow budget delay under my watch, says Lawan. Lawan is an aspirant for the Senate presidency. Says I enjoy ex-governors backing. Insist on open balloting. All right. Then at the top of it, you have 30,000 naira minimum wage. NLC governors settle for quick implementation. Oil, bad news for the Nigerian economy, perhaps. Oil drops to $71 on swelling U.S. stockpiles. Daura district head kidnapped. Another report on that. Insecurity, IGP redeploys Kaduna, Benue CPs and 4 others. Here we have JAM, results intact. JAM has come to react to the allegations that their results are actually inconclusive. All right, so we go on to the pilot. Pilot here says, we resisted calls to retrench workers, says Osibanjo. We resisted calls to retrench workers. Headline of the pilot, and says 2015 recession would have taken a toll on workers. Reviews that Paris Club refund was a saving grace. Promises workers full implementation of new minimum wage. Backdate implementation to April 18, NLC says. So to get the full story of that, you have to get today's version of pilot and then get on with it. At the bottom, just behind the photograph of the NLC president and the vice president of the Federal Republic, you have 30,000 naira minimum wage, best May Day gift ever. That is the pilot, echoing the headline of Daily Independent earlier on that we saw. Okay, let's see what Tribune is saying. Tribune, top of their headline says, discordant tunes over 30,000 naira minimum wage. Okay, this is from a very different angle from the rest. To get more details on that, get Tribune to read. Akwa Ibom, Benue, Zamfara, Adamawa, Kano, Rivers, Ekiti, others ready to pay. Okay, that is good news for workers in those states then. Moving on to the next. Our server didn't crash. UTM results intact, says JAM. Bandits kill 10 in Katsina. IGP redeploys Kaduna CP, 5 others. So let's go to Vanguard. Vanguard says, fight unemployment, insecurity, debt burden. That is Labour saying to the federal government. And on top of it, you have Nigeria can't ban imports amid poverty and hunger. This is Olufasan writing on the State of the Nation. Governors promote insecurity to inflate security votes. Governors promote insecurity to inflate security votes. That is an allegation from Magu, EFCC chairman, perhaps. IGP orders immediate redeployment of Kaduna CP and 5 others. No part of Nigeria will suffer neglect in my tenure, says Buhari. We don't know how many Nigerians will agree with that. But let's go. Head of Buhari's district head kidnapped. How carpenters drivers earn 500,000 as monthly salary, says Governor Bello. Owando records 4.6 billion naira profits in Q1 of 2019. Why governors are often under probe, says Ribadu, ex-EFCC chairman. The Nation is saying something different today. Says fate of discourse shaky as government plans other options. Labour pay minimum wage now. Yeah, government really needs to find a solution to discourse life situation in the country. On top of the headline, Southwest governors back Gbajabiamila. Jump to candidates, guide your details. Keep it safe. Not for lawmakers, over 23 billion naira pay. April slump pushes loss to 2.65 trillion naira. Dara district head kidnapped. Eagles to play Zimbabwe in Asaba June 12. Right. How Buhari Dabiri saved Zainab. Ministry ignored distress call. To get more details about that, get to the Nation newspaper, and you find how the ministry ignored distress call. But away from that, let's look at Daily Sun. What's Daily Sun saying? Magu EFCC chair hits governors. Accuse them of inflating security votes, blames terrorism, banditry on corruption. All right? Buhari's village head kidnapped as bandits killed 10 in Katsina. Okay, I think that is like all over the newspapers. IGP appoints new CPs for Kaduna, Benue, and Bauchi. Mass staff deployment hits Aso Rock. 71 face sanctions over non-compliance. That is that for Daily Sun. Up to this day, Delta or your 15 others set to pay minimum wage. Take the 14 states to court. FG takes Labour. NLC, TUC insist on immediate implementation. Implements the minimum wage. Bold on the headline, kidnappers attack Daura, abduct district head Umar. 17 others killed in Katsina. Leadership, Mayday workers demand quick revamp of economy. All right. Fan shots Gombe, KB airport over debt. I thought we saw that earlier. Islam's presidential committee over terrorist earning claim. Governors promoting insecurity to inflate security votes. All right. That's again. Speakership, Southwest governors rally support for Gbajabiamila. And the last paper for the day, we look at Daily Trust. Daily Trust, both on their headline, they have how government adopted Buhari's in-law in Daura. Security operatives search for kidnappers. Nigeria gets $91 billion investment in first quarter of 2019. Okay, good news. Minimum wage mixed signals across states. And at the bottom, you have Kanu abolishes HND BSc dichotomy. All right. FG to introduce online safety curriculum in school. 12 international airlines now relocate to Abuja new terminal. Abuja airport about to get real busy. So that's so much we could take for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Victor, for that newspaper review. You see, Sandra, like I just keep, when I hear things about this insecurity going on and lots more, you know, like this Kaduna thing, it still bothers me because, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, I feel the police is really, really working hard to ensure that these bandits are taken out of our streets. But it seems, you know, like the IGP just redeployed the commissioners in Kaduna.
From what I see from the whole thing is that they are doing very well, I know, but they need to put more effort to whatever it is they are doing so that they will be able to calm this situation because the thing is becoming so pathetic.
Yeah, and it also seems, you know, of course, the laborers, they are really excited about this minimum wage.
I'm happy about the minimum wage because yesterday I heard on the news when Ayuba was telling the federal government that they should backdate the payment of the 30,000 minimum wage. Of course, workers are... The thing wouldn't have come at a better time because this is yesterday was Workers' Day, and workers were happy to welcome this idea of the 30,000 minimum wage. Most of the state government are not comfortable with it, but I am so happy. Are you back on?
Yeah, it seems, you know, for me, I feel the presidency, the president is getting ready for second term with this going on, because I'm sure the labor is truly behind him with this minimum wage thing that happened. Yeah, so we're going to take you to the next thing. Victor was also on the streets to actually get people's comments, you know, with the Zainab issues that we talked about earlier this morning. Yes, Victor was on the street to see what Nigerians have to say about the intervention of the federal government on Zainab. Let's watch and see what Victor has.
Hello viewers at home, this is TVN again and we are back into the streets again. This time around we are trying to get the opinions of Nigerians on the Zainab Aliyu case. If you remember, Zainab Aliyu was wrongly arrested for peddling drugs to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and the Nigerian government had to step in and she was actually rescued and brought back home to Nigeria. So there has been divergent reactions to this. We are here to get the views and the opinions of Nigerians to understand what they feel, how they feel, what is their opinion about, you know, the whole subject. So please stay with us as we go on and talk to more Nigerians.
My name is Yakubu Oko. Yes, I see to it that that is the right thing the government should have done. But in doing it, it has to be done to everybody. It shouldn't be to a sectional group of people in the country because we have the same rights. Everybody has the right to live in the country. And if such a thing happens to a less privileged family or to any human being at all, government has to intervene immediately and rescue such a person. It shouldn't be that because you have a good background, the government has to look into you. That's the way I look at it.
I'm Suleiman Muhammad Suleiman by name. In case of what people are saying, I'm not after anything where people do says, because everybody has his own opinion to say whatever he want to say. But as far as I'm concerned, government has done the right thing. What government did is the needful that each and every single Nigerian deserve. Whoever happen to have himself in a position like this is how this government is supposed to act. And this is the very, very commendable act from this very government we are talking about.
Okay, my name is Damian. To me, my general opinion about Zainab is it's unfair, Sha, because in Nigeria today, we found out that the privileged ones are being treated fine and fairly, while the less privileged, we the average Nigerians, are being treated trashly. So to me, well, it's a good thing. The government are acting towards trying to free Zainab, but they actually free her quite alright. But I would like the government to address the issue of extending their hands to the average Nigerians. Maybe if something like this come up again, they can be able to help the less privileged Nigerians who don't have anything or who don't have who to talk to them, talk on their behalf, at least to help them out, in cases like this.
My name is Ejikeme Ugoke. Actually, I thought that the government are doing what they should have done. It's the right thing, but then if they have done this earlier before, because we have a lot of people who are also being involved in this kind of situation, even though some of them are not guilty, but they have been, treated the way most of them have been treated. So it's not a thing that we are also proud of, because the way they are handling the situation is not how it's supposed to be. But we are praying that subsequently they will follow up issues like this with all seriousness.
My name is Abang, please. From what I heard, I don't really think she's from a wedding home. That's not the issue. The issue is the places she went to cry out. She didn't just sit down and she went to different places. I heard she went to Embelembe, where this how is it called, Honorary Ahmed. So all those people assisted to, write to the government. That's why they attend to it fast. Besides, she was not the only person that was in the prison. There was one old man of 80 years was also arrested in that same reason. But through her, I heard that they have also released the man.
My name is Ahmed Baba, and I'd like to comment regarding the issue of Mrs. Zainab. Actually, the government of the Federation, Nigeria, tried by securing her release, but apparently if it were someone else, I think, and I doubt if that may be the case, because certainly they always work for themselves. The rich always work for the rich. If it were a poor man now, you'll hear a different story. And we're always suffering this issue over and over again. A lot of Nigerians have been executed over there, and the government has not said anything except this issue of Zainab, which happens. Her father happens to be the UBEC chairman, because if you check, her father is in the government. They are a wealthy family. But if it were another person, let's say the issue of Leah Sharibu, she has been there. She's not even in Saudi Arabia, she's in this country, but yet the government couldn't secure her release. Every day people protest about that issue, but because Leah Sharibu, her father, is just typical farmer in the northeast part of the country. He has no resources, he has no federal might and powers to secure his daughter's release. The issue keeps lingering around, I think the law usually work against the poor. It doesn't work for the mighty,
Oh, thank you very much, Victor, for that report. I really appreciate the fact that Nigerian government have started standing up for their people. When they start doing things like this, we know that things are moving well. And when they start it, you should just consider that it should not be limited. When you are doing something, you do it for all. So many people are complaining that because the girl is rich, that is why the federal government could stick out their head, their neck for her. But I don't think that is the case.
Yeah, that shouldn't, even though the government did what they are meant to do, because government stands for its people. But I believe that there are lots of people in diaspora going through a lot of issues, and I hope that the foreign ministry and the foreign minister and the presidency looks into it too. Of course, this issue is a welcome issue, is an exciting issue. It shows that, of course, we have the government, and this also shows that Our president is ready to go for the second tenure here.
Yes, certainly. Now we are going to move to another segment. This is the healthy segment. You know, I like food a lot. Anything that has to do with food, I always welcome it. So now Diane is out there. She's going to tell us what to eat in the morning. Sometimes when you wake up, some people will decide to eat akpu or eat pounded yam in the morning.
Yeah.
Depends on you, but me, then I want to be healthy. So I want Diane to tell me there's that thing I'll take in the morning. Diane, over to you, Diane.
Welcome on this program, Healthy Living. Today we'll be looking at reasons why we shouldn't skip breakfast, the importance of eating a healthy breakfast, and the positive effects on health. The meaning of breakfast is to break the fast between dinner and the meal eaten after a person wakes up the next morning. If you think of the time between dinner and breakfast, it is taken to be a very long break. The word breakfast is fitting. For most people, it can last up to 12 hours since their last meal, and yet most people are very fast to skip it as they rush out of the door. Breakfast being the first meal of the day, it is as important as water to your body. Doctors recommend that you should take a bowl of breakfast 2 hours after waking up. Healthy breakfast may be your own problem solver, which you have been looking for. Make your morning meal your priority, and shortly you'll enjoy a new health. Now let's look at the 10 benefits of eating breakfast and why it should be considered the most important meal of the day. It boosts your energy to start the day. Everyone should start their day right by eating as many vitamins and other nutrients as possible. The great thing about breakfast is there are so many common breakfast foods that can be considered superfoods because of their nutrition value. Example, egg, whole grains, vitamin C, and lots more. It enables a sharper focus. I mean, nobody wants to be in a serious-minded environment, like a classroom or on the job, and wants to be distracted by hunger. The last thing you should want on your mind is food, because once the thought of a sumptuous bowl of cereal with a side of fruits or yogurt enters your brain, you definitely won't focus on anything else. Eating breakfast will enable you more focused and productive until it's lunchtime to refuel at lunch. Don't let a noisy stomach distract you. Breakfast also helps reduce morning crankiness. Sometimes feeling cranky in the morning is understandable. You probably will want to stay in bed longer. You don't feel like going to work, and what people forget is that you are starving. Imagine not eating for 8 to 12 hours during the day. You probably won't be the approachable person during the day. Eat breakfast to enable you to deal with moodiness or stress for the day. It boosts metabolism. When you sleep, your body metabolism slows down. The only way to start your metabolism for the day is to start off the right way with a healthy breakfast. This will enable your body to start burning calories from the beginning of the day, rather than in the middle of it, after you've eaten lunch. Eating breakfast every morning can help you lower cholesterol. When you skip breakfast, you are creating a chain within your body. You slow down your metabolism. Fat is stored longer in your body. You have a higher tendency to overeat at your next meal. You gain weight and your cholesterol goes up. Furthermore, eat breakfast to lose weight. One of the greatest benefits of eating breakfast every morning is you can lose weight by doing so. Studies have shown that an increase in weight is commonly associated with skipping breakfast. A morning meal helps keep your blood sugar level stable during the day. I personally think if I have a good breakfast, I could go on without food for the rest of the day. John Gotter also said, all happiness depends on a leisurely breakfast. And Egil said, breakfast is everything. Okay, we have come to the end of today's episode on healthy living. Keep watching Television Nigerian. I am Diana Udra.
Thank you, Diane, for that update on what to eat right. At least now Sandra knows she doesn't have to eat apple in the morning. She doesn't need to load her tummy with apple in the morning to actually... And the truth is that I think breakfast, several times that I've tried taking breakfast in the morning, I feel alive. I feel like, most times I go all through the day. I won't even remember that I just had breakfast. Yeah.
Sometimes I like taking breakfast in the morning too, because
I hope it's
maybe
not
by the time
Sandra.
you get to the office, you don't really have time to eat anything. But with that breakfast, it makes your day very
Sandra,
smooth.
when you talk breakfast, are you talking about apple?
I'm not talking about apple. At least Diane had made me know that it's not good for me to eat apple in the morning so that I will come to the office and start sleeping. But I know other things that I need to take in the morning for a better day.
Yeah, that's very good. Thank you, Diane, for that update. Right now, we're going to be telling you the delicious Nigerian dishes we have. Across Africa, there are lots of dishes, beautiful dishes. Just like I went to Ghana, I actually ate this. There's this pepper that looks, it's black, but... So we're going to give you all the delicious Nigerian meals you have to take for those visiting Nigeria. Watch right now and see the meals to try when you're here.
Hello, I'm glad to have you join me on this edition of Ask Life and Style. I am Uchechi Lemowa. In Nigeria, we have various kinds of food eaten by different ethnic groups in Nigeria. Nigerian foods are so varied from north to south and east to west. Today, we are going to be looking at 5 Nigerian delicacies made and eaten by different ethnic groups in Nigeria. Stay with me. I'll be right back in a minute. Believe me when I say this episode is so very tempting. What do you expect when you are talking about food, especially when you are hungry and your brain begins to play a trick on you, just like it is happening to me right now? But trust me, I know what to do at the end of this show. In the eastern part of Nigeria, there are various kinds of food. We have bitter leaf, we have okaza soup, and we have akwu ofa, known as banga soup. But today we are going to look at the most prominent foods eaten by Igbos, and that is ora soup and abacha. Let's have a look. Oh my gosh, ora soup or ofe ora, as popularly called by Igbo people, is one of the most delicious and popular soup made and eaten by Igbo people. This soup is so delicious, and as an Igbo girl, I can sell my birthright for this recipe. On the other hand, abacha, which is also known as African salad, is a product of cassava and another meal most popular among Igbos in Nigeria. This recipe is highly nutritious and can be enjoyed by everyone. Now, if you don't know abacha, just check out this video. Different kinds of food eaten by Hausa people, and they range from tuwo shinkafa, tuwo dawa, and so on. But we will be looking at miyan kuka and masa. Miyan kuka is one of the most popular and simplest northern soups. It is made with dried fish using kuka leaves, which are usually sun-dried and grind into powder and serves as a thickener. This soup reminds me of ogbono soup, but with a darker green color. Miyan kuka is another case of not judging a soup by its color. On the other hand, masa is a very popular snack in the north, commonly sold on the street side. Masa doesn't taste really sweet, but is considerably healthier. About most traditional foods of the northern people is that they have very rich and unique taste and lots of unique spices like Thai and Indian food, and most contain cereal including rice, millet and corn as main ingredients, which are all healthy. There is this stereotype about women from Akwa Ibom State that they are the best cook in Nigeria. This may sound a bit biased, but practically the stereotype is more like a fact. Afang soup is one dish that you will find commonly in many homes in Cross River and Akwa Ibom states of Nigeria. It is usually prepared with combination of vegetables, afang leaves and water leaves. Let's have a look. It is also known to be the richest and somewhat medicinal vegetable soup of the Efiks and Ibibios in Nigeria. Well, this is all I have for you today on this edition of Ask Life and Style. I must confess, this discuss various recipes make me appreciate being a Nigerian and Nigerian foods even more. It's been fun hanging out with you, and I will definitely see you again. Bye for now.
Thank you very much, Uchechi, for that report. I know that everyone, so many people were just itching for what to eat. And I'm sure someone is wondering that they just talked about breakfast. Now they are talking about lunch or dinner. It's very important because food is one of the essential things that we need for life to move on. But Uchechi, I'm going to, when you come back, you are going to face Oputa panel because I didn't hear you saying anything about Okoho soup, Benue food. Is Benue not among Nigeria? Okay, now we are going to the next segment. We'll be talking about Nigeria. And this is Daybreak Africa. So we are going to across Africa to see some other things that are happening in African countries.
Welcome to News Across Africa in brief on Daybreak Africa. All 1,800 workers trapped underground a platinum mine in South Africa have been rescued, the government Department of Mineral Resources said in a tweet. Rails had fell down a shaft on Tuesday afternoon, leaving the workers stuck underground at the mine in Rustenburg in Northwest Province. Judges in the Dutch city of The Hague have ruled that a case brought by a group of Nigerian widows who accuse the oil giant Shell of complicity in their husband's execution can continue, rejecting Shell's request to have the lawsuit dismissed. Among those hanged in 1995 by the Nigerian military regime over their protests against oil pollution in the region of Ogoniland was the famous playwright Ken Saro-Wiwa. A former policeman and Somali refugee in the U.S. state of Minnesota has been found guilty of murdering an unarmed Australian woman. Mohammed Noor shot Justin Ruzek Damon as she approached his patrol car to report a possible rape behind her Minneapolis home on July 15, 2017. Deputy Health Minister Faustin Ndugulile told Parliament that mothers who gave birth to one baby will continue enjoying 84 days of maternity leave, while those with twins will get 100 days. Ndugulile was responding to a question from main opposition party Chadema Grace Tenega on Tuesday on whether the government had plans to increase maternity leave days for mothers who gave birth to premature babies. Johannesburg Mayor Herman Mashaba on Wednesday thanked the Democratic Alliance coalition partners for working together in bringing dignity to lives of nearly 1,000 security guards. Mashaba held a ceremony marking the multi-party government finalization of insourcing a final 939 security guards on Workers' Day. Thanks for watching. Daybreak on Africa continues.
Thank you, Mr. Charles, for that update on news across Africa. Right now, we're going to be talking about mathematics. We're going to be talking about mathematics. From the update, the statistic I got from WAEC last year, about 50% of students passed mathematics. Yeah, it looks like, growing up is a tough subject, I must say.
People are really concentrating now on maths because growing up, I didn't like what mathematics.
I always run away from
I didn't even like to hear mathematics name.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, I now discovered that I had that play. I now developed that love for mathematics, and I started doing it very well up to the extent that I became a science student, and my best subjects were maths.
Turned out
and
to be
physics.
mathematics.
Yeah,
wow,
maths
good.
and physics, and I did very well. But something now happened, and I decided that no, I won't go this lane again. Let me just change.
Okay.
So I now decided to stay back.
That's good. I've always been scared of maths anyway. But sit back, for those that are scared of mathematics, listen to the special report, and trust me, you'll never be scared of mathematics again.
Is what? 25 remainder 1. 2 into 1 is what? 1. Isn't it? 2 into 5 is what? 2. Remainder what? 1.
Very early in their lives, many children get the impression that mathematics is an abstract and difficult subject reserved for a select few. Except as a requirement for admission into institutions of higher learning, many students do not see any need for mathematics learning.
If you are doing arts, maths is needed. If you are in the market, the trading itself is maths. So if you are into accounting, what you use in calculating is mathematics. For those even in bank, is maths. In building, we talk about civil, electrical, all you do has to go around mathematics. So it's actually a subject to be embraced by all.
But while many students do not immediately see the use or applicability of the subject to their lives and to the world of work, these students, Paul Enkart and Ozigi Onize, thinks differently.
I like mathematics. I'm good in mathematics not because I'm born with it, but because of my enthusiasm for mathematics.
So it has to do with your everyday life, everything you do in your life. There's no day that you will not have to do something relating to mathematics. So it has to be an easy subject for every student.
The phobia for mathematics among school-age pupils has existed for years, and many adults have not expressed shame in publicly declaring their contempt for the subject, prompting many to question why the phobia for mathematics.
Mathematics is not a difficult subject. It always has to do with your interest. If you know, mathematics can be the simplest subject you want it to be. It's only when you have the interest, when you put your mind and develop the interest that, yes, I want to do this thing, it becomes the easiest subject. Right from when I was in my primary school, I hated maths, but along the line, I would fall in love with maths. And before you knew it, today maths has become my best subject.
Learning environment here is very conducive. I feel comfortable. The use of different textbooks makes us more attentive, and the language and speech the teacher uses very funny and very learned. I feel that's a very good factor in promoting mathematics in Nigeria.
So all mathematical topics beyond computational skills, also have one good habit or trait they inculcate to the students. Furthermore, mathematics is an exact and precise body of knowledge, and there are no half-truths in mathematics. A statement is either true or false, and an answer is either correct or not correct, and can be verified by a reverse process. Given these obvious facts, perhaps the phobia for mathematics might be as a result of the teachers and/or the process.
Students dread mathematics because most of the time it's either they don't understand and or the teacher who is delivering the lecture makes it look so scary, makes it look so abstract, makes it look so difficult that the students, once the teacher is coming into the class, they are scared, they show fear, they exhibit phobia, and they run away from the course.
It is particularly disappointing to find that mathematics has remained one of the least successful subjects in Nigerian schools, despite its importance, and also despite the time it receives in an average school system. This has prompted the National Mathematical Center to embark on stringent measures to ensure the eradication of the phobia and to enhance the performance of students in mathematics.
And some of these, there are many other equations and many other problems in mathematics. So it's made life. And this has also impacted positively on the few areas we've had resources to take some of these things to. Apart from that, we also have the training of teachers. We also train students so that the whole thing can synergize. They can come together, because if you train teachers and you train students in the best way of getting maths understood, then there's no way you get results. So we've been teaching teachers. We have the maths kits thing, we have the mental arithmetic, we have the abacus, which is part of the mental arithmetic training. Concentrating on lower level mathematics, middle level secondary school mathematics, and also higher level mathematics, which is the focus of our mandate as a center.
Introduction of several of these teaching aids have helped students develop more competence in mathematics.
Designed just to develop your left and right brain, like you said. It's based on how fast you can move your hand. If you use your right brain, you're using your left brain. Your left hand, you're using your right brain. It helps you to think faster.
The sustained phobia for mathematics and the persistent low performance in the subject calls for immediate action on the necessity of making the subject more teacher and environment friendly, to make Nigerian primary and secondary school students discover the beauty of mathematics, enough to learn the subject concepts with maximum understanding.
Thank you, Mr. Charles, for that special report on mathematics. This encourages everyone at home, the students, you don't have to fear anything, and not even mathematics. So for you, Sandra, I hope you're not among the students that were afraid of mathematics.
No, I've never been afraid of mathematics. And to even think that mathematics, for those people that like, is a very interesting subject. If you take your time, if you want to learn maths, you have to put your time, be focused, you will learn it. And again, I feel that if you want a student to learn mathematics very well, you have to bring the right teacher.
Yeah.
Because mathematics is something that if you don't have a serious person teaching it, there is no way you have a serious student out of it.
Yeah. And this also cuts across every other thing you're going to do as a student. Do not be afraid of the subject. All you need to do is sit and learn about it. And this takes us to the next program we have, the next special report we have for you this morning, the infrastructure in Ghana. As we talk about other places in Nigeria, just last year, the Lagos State government destroyed about 500 chances, in Lagos State. I didn't know they have something like that in Ghana, actually. But it shows that, everywhere in Africa, we need infrastructure and we're growing. Let's watch the next special report on infrastructure in Ghana.
It's early morning in Accra, and the traffic builds leading to Ghana's frenzied capital city, carrying commuters to the main commercial business districts. Aveno, a city within a city, is also awake. It's located in Accra's major transport terminus. The overloaded morning train leaves the inner city with young men seeking jobs across the capital. The people here are enterprising, but Aveno is confronted by multitudes of environmental and social challenges. Over 9,000 people live head-to-head within a few square miles. Oscar has lived here since he was a boy and seen Aveno transformed from a quiet rural suburb into an inner city slum.
We have a lot of challenges, from school going, accommodation, hygienic environment, but particularly with sanitation and water.
The drains are open and filled with waste, which contributes to the outbreak of diseases such as cholera, malaria and typhoid.
Open drains, they are very vulnerable to waste.
One of the most challenging problems is sanitation.
People find toilets in rubber bags, in their drains, in their gutters. It's not a good sight.
Another pressing challenge is the perennial water shortage.
When water runs out in Aveno, it's serious, really, really serious.
A collective solution was found to this when CHF International and local organizations came together to provide standing pipes in the households.
Today, as we stand here, the Ghana water people are around, to start the work, trying to connect people to the main line so that water can flow.
Aveno also has tackled when a local toilet facility was built through the unique partnership between CHF International, Aveno Youth Committee and the Accra Metropolitan Assembly.
Prior to the putting up of this public toilet, we were having just 2 public toilets in the community, which is serving a population of about 9,000.
Apart from the challenge of maintaining it, they are also inadequate because of increasing population.
So every morning when you come to the community at the other side, you see a long queue, people queuing up to go to toilet.
12, 20-seater, latrines that are used by about 1,000 people a day. You see the pressure, on it. The resources even to dislodge it, to disinfect it.
Yeah, this has helped a lot with the general sanitation in the community. A lot.
The elevated compost latrine was also introduced into some of the households.
When toilet was in the government toilet, the private toilet in York
This facility was tailor-made for the community because Aveno is a waterlogged area with a high water table. So putting up a water closet is quite impossible. It has helped a lot, and the sanitation condition in the community has also improved tremendously.
Aveno is one of Accra's busiest transport terminals, bringing many people into the community.
Today, Aveno is opened up. You see all manner of people here.
Aveno's location brings with it an acute housing shortage.
People are fighting for accommodation here. Yes, and we have squatters all over the place.
Just above the skyline, a woman braids the hair of another. The building is uncompleted.
It accommodates squatters.
Accra Metropolitan Assembly AMA is a city-wide authority. Mr. Timothy Oman is the planning officer. He recognizes that with a population of 4.5 million and a daily inflow of 1 million people, Accra has many planning and infrastructural challenges.
We have the bylaws, but we are not able to enforce the bylaws because we don't have adequate personnel. Recently, we have recruited a lot more of building inspectors and also some metro guards who will be policing the various communities. So we are hoping that haphazard development will be reduced from now on.
Thank you very much for that report. That was a report from Ghana, precisely Aveno town in Ghana. It's quite unfortunate that some people are still living like that. I'm sure the Ghana government are trying to do something about it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much. This brings us to the end of this segment of Daybreak Africa. Do not forget, you can always follow us and leave your comments on our social media. On Twitter is TV Nigerian. On Instagram is tvn.news. And on Facebook is www.facebook.com/television Nigeria. Join us same time tomorrow on Daybreak Africa. I remain Lucy Ora.
And I'm Sandra Guana. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Oh,
Have a blessed day. Bye.